Good morning. I'm Sophie and I'm currently at Kechara Forest Retreat, Bentong, Malaysia. For my last live stream, I have shared on the topic of do Buddhists worship idols and gave a few reasons why we are not idol worshippers. So today I'll be doing the topic on what are the different forms of Buddhism. So today I'll be sharing on the different types that in Buddhism. So 2,500 years ago, after Buddha has gained enlightenment and realized the truth of nature and started to teach of the way of the path to getting out of enlightenment, and in his teaching he has reached out to all sentient beings with their different levels of understanding. And sentient beings are those that are existing in the 6 realms of samsara, which is the God realm, the demigod, the human realm, the animal realm, the ghost realm, and the hell realm. So as such, Buddha gave 84,000 methods or teachings for the way out of samsara before his parinirvana at 80 years old. So today, there are actually 3 main forms of Buddhism practiced around the world, but there are also many other lesser types of Buddhism, but these are the 3 main forms. The first is Theravada Buddhism. Let me go to a picture for you to see. There you go. Okay, the first is Theravada Buddhism, which is mainly practiced in Sri Lanka, Thailand, Cambodia, Laos, and Myanmar. It is also known as Mantrayana, and majority of the people practicing this form of Buddhism. The practitioners are known as Theravadins, and their roots are traceable to the time of Dravira and created during the Second Buddhist Council in 334 BCE, when conflict arose in the interpretation of certain sacred texts. It originates from India, where Buddha taught. This form of Buddhism spread to Sri Lanka and from there on to other parts of the world. The Buddhist monks wrote down all the scriptures which originally were orally transmitted and now have come to be known as the Pali texts, the oldest written records of Buddhist teachings. Today, Theravada tradition has split into 3 subsects, which includes Jetavana, Abhayagiri Vihara, and Mahavihara. Theravada Buddhism promotes the idea of critical analysis of sacred texts, and that complete understanding of the scriptures can only come from personal, individual experiences. One is required to understand the 3 ideas, which are temporariness, where nothing in the world is permanent. The second is suffering, where desire produces suffering, as what we desire can never be permanent. Number 3, selflessness, where each person has 5 specific characteristics, although none can be considered as individual. So in understanding these 3 ideas, ignorance can be eliminated. The main belief in Theravada Buddhism is that each is responsible for their own achievement of higher levels of awareness. Now we go to the second major school of Buddhism, which is Mahayana Buddhism. Here's the picture, which is, although practiced worldwide, is mainly practiced in China, Japan, Taiwan, Korea, Singapore, and Vietnam. Mahayana Buddhism has been suggested to remain with the earliest form of Buddhism, but with additional ideology, thus having large number of scriptures and different teachings spanning ancient to the modern times. Mahayana Buddhist practitioners believe that they will reach higher level of spiritual awakening more so than other Buddhist teachings. They also believe that the possibility of other Buddhist leaders may exist with Buddha-like qualities. Mahayana Buddhists commit themselves to achieving mindfulness and having strong faith in the Buddha. They believe that if they are not able to attain Buddhahood by themselves, then they are able to do so by Buddha Amitabha. The third is Tibetan Buddhism, which is practiced mainly in Tibet, Nepal, Bhutan, Mongolia, China, parts of Russia, and northern India. Although sometimes classified as a variation of Mahayana Buddhism, many consider it an independent school of Buddhism. Of course, there are many more other forms of Buddhism, such as Zen Buddhism and Nirvana Buddhism. All forms revere different texts with different methods on the path towards enlightenment. It is believed that Vajrayana Buddhism emerged between the 3rd and 13th CE and stems from the teachings and practices of wandering yogis, also known as Mahasiddhas. They unconventionally lived in the wilderness rather than in the monasteries and created a unique path to enlightenment. The practitioners would gather with others to practice rituals, which may involve sometimes alcohol, eating, dancing, and singing. This school of Buddhism led to the creation of Buddhist Tantra writings. While other forms of Buddhism focuses on increasing positive human qualities and decreasing the negative ones, Vajrayana Buddhists focus on becoming a Buddha. Under this school, achieving enlightenment in one lifetime is a possibility, and the principal teachings focus on tantric practices, which include offerings of mandalas, mudras, and the different Buddhas and gods. One of the primary ideas of Vajrayana Buddhism is the concept of emptiness, which focuses on the temporal conditions of the world, which constantly changes. Due to the fluidity of existence, Vajrayana practitioners believe in the visualization of the self as gods, as the real being, as a daily living. There are other schools of Buddhism, such as Dhammaguptaka, Mula Sarvastivada, Prasangika, Svatantrika, and there is also Neva Buddhism, which relies on writings in Sanskrit. No matter what form of Buddhism one pursues, the teachings all stems from the original Buddha Shakyamuni, who had taught 84,000 teachings to suit people of all levels of understanding. So, all forms of practices are towards gaining the way out of suffering. So it is really up to the individual, their own affinity, the path that they prefer to go on, to be out of suffering. So with that, I will end my session of sharing today, and would like to thank you for sharing your time with me. I'll end this with a completion dedication in Tibetan. So there you go. Jang Jop Sen Cho Rinpoche, Ma Ke Pa Nam Ge Shi, Ke Pa Nam Pa Me Pa Yang, Go Ne Gon Do Pe Wa Shu, Toni Ton Wa Rinpoche, Ma Ke Pa Nam Ge Shi, Ke Pa Nam Pa Me Pa Yang, Go Ne Gon Do Pe Wa Shu, Da So Ji Ni Sa Pa Ge Wa Di, Tan Tan Tru Wa Gun La Gan Pa Dang, Je Pa Je Su No San Tra Pa I, Tam Ping Nim Po Rin Tu Sa Se Shu, Ke Wa Kun Tu Yan Da La Ma Da, Dra Mi Cho Ki Pa La Lo Cho Ching, Sa Dam La Ngi Yo Te Ra So Ne, Do Je Shang Ngi Ngo Pa Ngo Tu So, Ke Wa Di Nyu Du Da, La Ma Sang Yu Du Yo Ne, Dro Wa Chi Kya Ma Lu Pa, De I Sa La Go Pa Shu, Cho Ki Kya Po Sung Ka Pa, Cho Su Nam Pa Pe Wa La, Ke Ki Sa Ma Si Wa Dang, Tun Ki Ma Lu Sang Wa Shu, Da Dam Sung Yi Du Sun Dan, Dre Wa Song Yi La Te Ne, Ge Wa Lo San Tra Pa I, Tam Pa Yu Ri Fa, Gyu Shi, Ni Mo De Le Sen De Le, Ni Mi Gu Nyan De Le Shi, Ni Sing Ta Tu De Le Pao, Kun Chu Sung Yi Jing Yi Lo, Kun Chu Sung Yi Ngo Tu So, Kun Chu Sung Yi Tra Se Shu, Je Su La Ma Ku Sen Rap Ting Ching, Nop Ka Tri Ni Cho Chu Ke Pa Da, Lo Sam Tem Pe Dro Mi Sop Sung Yi, Dro E Mun Sa Ta Tu Ni, Gyu Shi, Gang We Ra We Ko We Shin Kam Den, Ben Dan De O Ma Liu Gyu We Ni, Chen Ren Zik Wan Ten Sing Get So Yi, Sha Pe Shi De Va Du Den, Gyu Shi, Hom Tom Pe Ngo Dro Ma Lu Pa, Den De Da La Sao Du So, Ko Dan Den Pa Long Chok Nam, Ke Pa So Shik Shup Den Sel. Thank you, and I'll see you for the next live stream.